was lucky enough to go to this platinum finance event in Whistler last week. It's this Tony Robbins exclusive event he does for his platinum partnership. It costs like 85 grand a year or something just to be part of platinum partnership. And then you've got this finance event. It's like my ideal holiday because you get to snowboard all in the morning and then learn from all these incredible speakers at night. You know, he has like 8 something different billionaire speakers. Just a huge knowledge. These are my biggest takeaways from it though. One, like it hammers the point of diversification. Ray Dalio's holy grail, as he always says, is 8 to 12 uncorrelated asset classes is the key to diversification. Because if you have that, you don't drop your returns, but you reduce your risk by up to 80%. Now, uncorrelated is actually quite hard to do because so many investments are correlated. So when they all go up, they go up together. You know, and one of the guys there did a great analogy of correlation, which is basically, think of it like if you own a golf pro shop. A great uncorrelated assets is sunscreen versus rain jackets, right? So when it's sunny, you're going to sell sunscreen, and when it's raining, you're going to sell rain jackets. Probably not both on the same day. They're completely uncorrelated. This is how you can just diversify your risk. These were some changes, and I know this is such an important topic because I remember when I first went there in 2020, it was the big thing when I first did my plan and everything was like, oh my God, 99% of my wealth was in the business. And this is very common for a lot of people, but here's the thing, is it doesn't matter how smart you think you are or good at what you do. You're just sort of one mistake away. And it can't even be your mistake. It just can be someone on your team. You know, click on the wrong pinching email, your account gets hacked, database, you have to email them all, like unravel the effects. There's just huge risk in having 99% of your wealth in your business. I remember when I went through this process, and you do this really great analogy where you think of all your sort of financial goals and everything that it's going to create and what you actually need for that money to be outside of your business, to be able to generate you an income outside of your business that could cover that. Once I did that exercise, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to make this happen, because I could just imagine how much it would feel different rather than that feeling, that stress that would still come of like waking up like, oh my God, the wage bill's $500,000 this week, because 99% of the wealth in the business. So when I did this in 2020, I went through all the plan and it worked together and diversified to right up until, you know, we did the sale the next year, and I sold half of the business, you know, and got 300 cash off the table, which was the way to diversify. And then everything left was house money in it. And that was the best feeling of setting up in this way of like, if it goes to the moon or goes to zero, it's not going to change my life at all. And one of the other things I really got out of going to that in 2020 is that Tony Robbins, this was in Sun Valley on the last night, he has a party at his house. And only when I went to his house, it blew my mind. And this is just his holiday house, but you know, the indoor basketball court, it had a natural hot spring through it. And we were all doing like jumping in the freezing cold river because it was like snowing back in the natural hot spring. Like only 5 houses in America or something have a natural hot spring running through it. The indoor basketball court, the crazy heated pool, it was just so mind blowing. I remember seeing it like, oh my God, there's levels to this. And I know that if I never experienced that and felt it and touched it, I would not have the house that I have today, because it really expanded my thinking and my dreams and vision from just experiencing that. That what led me diversify. It was so cool in redoing this process again of like so much what I did in the past and how I implemented it made such an impact in my life across this diversification. But no, there is still huge risk in America. You know, the debt thing, the debt problem, it's got to work its way through at some point. And so for me, I'm still really heavy in cash and super safe in my portfolio now, but you know, definitely changing to a bit more private debt, private capital, as well as like, you know, there was some great, like this Howard Marks, this billionaire from Oaktree Capital, like this B or BB rated bonds where you can get 8 to 9% return, which is like really freaking good. But then other stuff of like investing in the index, you know, for a super long-term investment, and trying to get a little bit more away from exposure to US equities, because a lot of what I took away from there is there's still huge risk there as that whole debt problem, how it works its way through, and that just to diversify away, because I'm already so exposed to that. But otherwise, it was the definition of my ideal holiday, you know, by myself, snowboard all day, you have an amazing group, you ride so hard for like 4 or 5 hours, come back in and then learn till like 10, 11 at night. But those were my biggest takeaways from it.